Hi. Okay, so I need to get this video done because it is Thursday, and yeah, I feel like it's a little late, but I'm going to be reviewing the last episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. This past episode, 17, I think it's called like A Whole Lot of Messy or something like that. At Marlo's, so we're at Candy's tasting, and Marlo wants to apologize, and honestly she does this every season, and it's like so annoying. Like I don't know what the psyche is behind. I think she just really just comes on the show to get paid to be messy. Like I don't think she gives a fuck. She don't give a fuck about nobody. Like she don't. So yeah, like I don't know, it's just weird how like every time she does some foul shit and say some foul shit, she always want to come back and apologize. I don't know what came over me. Like they be like weak ass, empty ass, weak ass apologies. Like they're the most disingenuous apologies ever. Like I'm sorry, probably not, but like I'm just saying, like she always does this. Like she apologized and then she get right back to doing the same shit. Like it's so crazy. I don't know why Portia tried to be friends with Marlo, like, or friends. I don't know what level of friends. When they say friends can mean a lot of different things. It could mean like we're co-workers and I'm cordial with you and we work together. So because we work together, we kind of have to be friends, or friendly, or whatever the fuck. Or you have friends where like, this is actually my friend. We hang out outside the show. We talk to each other. Whatever. Like it's different levels. I don't know what. Regardless, honestly, like if I was a housewife, I just would not want any parts of Marlo. Like I just would not fuck with her, like on no level. I would actually be shading the fuck out of her because she is a whole fucking mess. So yeah, like I don't know, it's just antagonizing. Like she, like this whole thing where she's like, she's talking to Candy's aunt. I forget what her name is. But she's talking to Candy's aunt. Kind of like the same thing she did with Big Frida in the last episode. Like, girl, like this is so antagonistic and weird because you're trying to like embarrass Portia and manipulate people and manipulate the situation and just kind of pick. Like, it's just so crazy to me. Like, I don't know. It's like this passive aggressive, just weird shit. Like, I don't know. So okay, so I think I think next they talk about Kenya and Mark. I do not care about Kenya and Mark, honestly. Like I just don't care, honestly. So next, yeah, so I went into, you know, Marlo apologizing, all this stuff. Like I don't know, I'm just over her. Like I'm just over her. I kind of been over her. Like she's just too much in my opinion. So this whole thing with the lipo and shit is like so funny. So, or Marlo's back, all this other stuff, the kids jumped on it. So when they were in NOLA, Marlo couldn't hang out and stuff because she said that she had to wear back braids because the kids jumped on her back or whatever. So when they were all at Candy's tasting, Marlo was still doing the thing with Portia, like, oh, Portia never even hit me up or something like that. Portia's like, oh, I did text you, by the way, how's your back? And Marlo's like, it sucks because I wanted to get lipo, but I have to wait until my back gets healed. And fucking Shamia is like, I thought you already had lipo or something like she's like, I thought you already had lipo. Like Marlo got caught in this lie about getting like the reality is she actually got lipo. Like the kids did not jump on her back and hurt it. She got lipo before the trip. And so yeah, and like whatever, but like why would Portia was in a confessional, like why would you blame it on them kids? Like on them kids, like that was so wrong. I thought this scene was so interesting because Portia was like, by the way, how's your back? And Shamia like piled and added on and like was saying, like Shamia had the tea. Like Shamia was like, oh, I have a friend. I have a friend who goes to the same doctor. That's how I know you got lipo. And I just feel like Shamia may have fed that to Portia. Like Portia asked, like this was obviously on purpose. Like Portia's like, by the way, how's your back? Like cause her and Shamia clearly talked. Shamia clearly like spilled the tea to Portia, and they like kind of like planned this little thing. So I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, I thought that was so funny. Can we talk about like Shamia and Portia's relationship just real quick? I think I'm gonna talk more about it later, but I don't know. Their relationship is very interesting. Honestly, I want more of Shamia. Like, I don't know. Although she is giving, like, she's giving. You know what I'm saying? She's been giving. But, like, I'm very much interested in Shamia personally. Like, I don't know. But sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what her and Portia's relationship really is, honestly, because Portia was, like, you know, fucking Shamia over to fuck with Phaedra. Like, she was, like, kikiing and saying that, you know, implying that Shamia was having sex with Todd and Candy and all this other stuff, when Shamia, I don't know if Shamia was Candy's friend. I think Shamia was Portia's friend and then became Candy's friend, I think, is what happened. And maybe her and Portia fell out. But Shamia be so loyal to Portia. Like, Shamia be going hard for Portia. Like, she be going, honestly, I think maybe Shamia just goes hard for her friends, but I don't know if maybe she specifically goes hard for Portia. Like, I don't know what kind of bond or relationship they have, whatever. I don't know, but it's very interesting to see. So yeah, at the end of the day, Marlo just wants attention, and she just wants Portia to look bad. Like, oh yeah, Norma, that was Candy's auntie name. Norma, she was talking to Aunt Norma, like trying to just like, anyway, I'm over it, child. So yeah, so I think, yeah, so next is this whole Drew with this fucking profit lot bullshit. So Drew is talking to Ralph about like, oh, we can't do the baby blessing anymore because LaToya is messing around with Prophet Lot. Prophet Lot, that's how she says it. LaToya's messing around with Prophet Lot, and like apparently like she can't do her baby blessing. Prophet Lot can't bless her baby because LaToya is like fucking around with him, and she's like tearing up families. Like, she's tearing up families and all this other, like, just like doing the absolute misogynistic most. Like, I cannot with this, like, whatever. So also this like, girl, like, we know that this is ridiculous. Like, I don't even have to explain why this is ridiculous. Like, what? Like, what? Huh? Yo, baby can't get blessed because what? First of all, this Prophet Lot person, like, this nigga seem like a whole scammer. He don't look like somebody that can be trusted. Honestly, a lot of people, I can't lie, like, a lot of people in the church and Christianity, especially people like Drew, who wants to like weaponize like religion and all this other stuff to basically be misogynistic. Although Christianity do be a fucking whatever. I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm just saying, like, all this is complete bullshit. Like, all this is bullshit. Like, I don't understand. Like, Prophet Lot can't bless Drew's baby because of LaToya. Somebody had commented saying like, who the table, something like the tables have turned, like Drew is now LaToya's biggest fan, and I like agree. Like, this is doing way too much in my personal opinion. Like, I don't know what, but it's bringing, I mean, if we're gonna, I kind of like don't do the whole like, oh, it's entertaining, because it is, but I'd be leaning more towards like how I would feel if I was a housewife. Like, I'd be leaning more towards how I would feel if I was in that situation, analyze it like that, and like if I, as opposed to like a viewer's point of view, like, type of shit. Like, yes, this is entertaining or whatever, but it's also very petty and annoying. Like, let's be like, it's also like, I'm gonna just call it what it is. It's petty and annoying. Like, you're doing too much. So we get to Cynthia and Portia's pop-up event for black businesses that they have. Everyone's wearing masks. People are like double masked up. People got like things under their mask, under the masks that aren't, I guess, medical masks. Like, I guess, you know, because I guess this was like a public event, it made sense for, I mean, it makes sense regardless, but I guess because this was a public event, it made sense for, you know, it made sense for everyone to like be more precautious and everything. Excuse me. Whew. Got the hiccups. Okay, yeah, so they're at Cynthia and Portia's pop-up event, And Marlo, of course, goes to Portia because Portia sells these sheets or whatever. This bedding. She has like this bedding line. Okay, so Marlo goes over and fucking buys some. And it's like, that's fine, but like, why are you so weird? Like, why are you so weird? Like, you're so weird. I don't know. She's weird. Like, I would just like, I don't know. She's just like a dark cloud that just keeps following. Like, I don't know. Like, she's so annoying. So Drew tells Candy about this profit lot situation. Like, so to more so go over it or whatever, even though y'all probably seen that. Who am I talking to? Whatever. So yeah, Drew, this profit lot situation, Drew introduced I think Drew introduced Latoya to Profit Lot to guide her and help her, you know, spiritually, whatever the fuck. So whatever, to guide her spiritually and all this stuff. The only reason why I do that is because, like, I don't know how much I legitimize or trust like the Profit Lot stuff. Like, I don't know how much I trust. Like, I'm not saying that she wasn't actually being spiritual, but I'm like, I don't know. Judging from just appearance, I don't know how spiritually right this man is, honestly. And like, you calling yourself a prophet, don't feel like you spiritually right because you sound self-righteous. And Drew is also self-righteous. Like, these people just seem very self-righteous, so whatever the fuck. But anyway, so yeah, Drew introduced Latoya to Profit Lot, so Profit Lot can guide her spiritually, all this other stuff about drinking and just like, you know, just help her get right, all these other things, give her some guidance. So Drew spills the tea to Candy, and not only does she spill the tea to Candy, she goes around to everyone and tells everybody about this, like saying, oh yeah, you know, Prophet Law is supposed to do my baby blessing, and I can't even do my baby blessing because of her, because of Latoya, because Latoya wants to sleep around and all this other stuff. And Candy's like, y'all give Latoya way too much credit. Like, I'm not about to give her that much credit that she is like, come on, like, yeah, like, this is a grown man, like, and they kept making that point, like, this is a grown man, like, y'all need to stop with the woman lured him, all this other silly shit. So yeah, Candy's like, girl, bye. Like, I don't know. And Drew was saying that Latoya didn't come to the tasting because Drew knows about this, and I'm like, Latoya has been around you. She don't give a fuck about nothing that you know or nothing that you have to say. And also, she's coming to this event, so I don't know, or she came to this event, so I don't know what you mean. Like, what? Anyway, so Candy actually tells Latoya that Drew gave her this information. Candy's the new bone carrier. I don't care. Candy is the new bone carrier. Like, that's all she's, like, that's what she is. Like, not saying that's all, but like, that's kind of just what she is. She's kind of like a bone carrier, but maybe a little less messy, but she's still messy. Like, Candy is messy. I used to think that she wasn't messy, but now I feel like now that we're getting further into the season, like, people's roles kind of like switch. So I think now her role is kind of to be a little messy now. So yeah, so we're in the Bailey wine cellar, and Cynthia says that she hasn't seen everyone since Candy's tasting except for Latoya. And Candy brings to the group and mentions what Drew said, and Drew just comes out and says it and addresses it to Latoya. And yeah, and Drew says that she got a call from Prophet Lot that Drew found out about them, that Drew found out about them like messing around with each other, I don't even want to say having an affair, but that they're messing, like they're like in a relationship or something like that with each other that is like intimate. So yeah, and yeah, so Latoya's like, she is such a drama queen. Like, I'm not addressing her, and I'm like, good for you, Latoya. Like, Latoya has been very annoying and very disrespectful and very petty in the season, I'm not gonna lie. But when it comes to her and Drew, I'm personally team Latoya, whatever. So I'm just saying, like, between the two, I'm team Latoya personally. So Yeah, like Latoya's like, she's such a drama queen, I'm not addressing her. And it's like, yeah, like she is a drama queen. Like she's trying to embarrass you and basically put a scarlet letter on you in front of everyone. Like, and this is just not cool. Like, it's giving slut shaming, which is crazy because yes, this seems hypocritical because you was all up on Bolo's Bolo, and yet you want to talk about Latoya. Latoya is getting a divorce. Like, her and her relationship with her husband, ex-husband, is over, and she can do whatever she want to do. And even if she wasn't, I don't like when people are in other people's business. Like, I don't like that you are judging Latoya for what she does in her relationship. Even if she was cheating on that man, it's none of your business. Like, it's not any of your business. Like, and this is not destroying you getting blessed by fucking Prophet Lot. Prophet Lot don't even seem like he has any spiritual blessings really to like give. Like, maybe like financial blessings, maybe, possibly, I don't know, because you know, he's dipped in Gucci, whatever, he dipped in all these luxurious brands and all this other stuff. He has like a certain like look to him. It's very like black capitalist, elitist, like, you know, very much giving brunch Gucci down type of vibe. So yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, you know, like, anyway, so I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, like, Drew is like, know that I know, real lives have been affected. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, you are doing the most. Saying that your baby can't get blessed because of Latoya, like, you're giving Latoya so much power and you don't even realize it. Like, and that's so lame. Like, that's so whack. Like, you don't even realize how whack that is. Like, who, Chile, like, you want, like, you have it out for this girl, which is valid. Like, like, that's valid because Latoya did come kind of crazy, has been coming crazy this season, like, you know. But this is not the way. This is not the way. I don't like this. Like, I don't like this. Like, this is not the way. Like, this is just doing too much. And you look silly. You look silly. You just look like you don't know how to mind your business, and like, you're just like misogynistic. Like, you doing all this shit saying it's Latoya's fault, and you're not giving Prophet Lot, who apparently you say was engaged, which turns out he wasn't, and that he hasn't been engaged for 3 years, he says. So yeah, you're saying all this other stuff, like all this smoke for Latoya. Where's the, you know what I'm saying? But your husband was in Florida. Like, let's talk about it. Like, you don't even know where your husband was. Your husband was in Florida and you don't even know what he was doing out there. So it's like, you have all this smoke for Latoya. You should be focused on Ralph, in my opinion. So yeah, and also Drew made this point about men saying like, oh, men are gonna do what they do because they're human. I'm like, so what do you feel like women are? Like, I am in confusion. Like, I am in confusion. Like, she gives me this whole like protect black men, like, you know, but women are whores and sluts and it's their fault why men cheat. Like, she gives me very much that. Like, that's what she's giving. Like, she said, like, of course men, she said something like, of course men, you know, they are susceptible. I think she said this in the after show or something. But she was saying, like, you know, because they're human, so they're gonna mess up. I'm just like, so you don't feel that way about women? Like, you don't feel like women are humans and they're gonna do what they do either? Like, you don't feel like, it's just crazy how she humanized men and just demonized women. Like, that's why it's giving me it's giving me hella misogyny. Like, she humanized men and is demonizing this woman. I can't. She demonized her literally because she said she got a Delilah spirit, whatever the fuck that is. A Delilah spirit, which apparently is the spirit of, you know, some type of entity or something, whatever, that lures men and all this other stuff, like all this crazy stuff. So I don't know. Portia talking about Portia's talking about something. Don't you see she's upset? She can't have her baby blessing. I'm so annoyed. I'm like, Portia, please stop. Like, what? She can't do this all because of Latoya. There are so many other people that can bless your child if that's what you want to do. Like, if that's what you want to do. Like, there are so many. And also, I mean, I understand you want to do the spiritual thing, but Drew, like, your child should be blessed regardless because she is your child. You feel me? So yeah, like, I don't know. So Drew says, oh, you're in a spiritual journey. I think the first step should be to tell the truth. And Toya says the first step is for you to shut up because you don't know what you're talking about. That shit, like, that shit had me, like, that was so funny. Like, I think the first step should be to admit the truth. The first step should be to shut up because you know what you're talking about. That was funny. So yeah, Drew mentions Latoya's mom. Like, Drew mentions Latoya's mom, and that Latoya's mom thought that her and Prophet Lot were together. I'm like, Drew, why are you talking to my mama? This is too much. Like, this is too much. Like, it's too much. I can't with this. Like, you're acting like Kenya with Portia did with the Bolo thing. Like, you're doing the most. Like, so, you're like, why are you talking to her mama? Talking about something, she breaking up families, all this other stuff, the Delilah spirit, all this other stuff. And Cynthia mentions they were just on good terms because, you know, they went to the same church and all this other stuff. I'm like, first of all, that was fake. Drew does not give a fuck about Latoya, because if she did, she wouldn't have brought it to the group that Latoya was seeing someone or trying to get help or whatever in terms of like her drinking and all this other stuff. Like, she wouldn't have brought that to the group in public, trying to embarrass Latoya and also trying to shame her and all this other stuff. Like, Drew, like, I'm sorry, like, Drew does not give a fuck. Like, she don't actually care about Latoya. It's all fake. All this caring about her being on a spiritual journey, you're using that against her. Like, you're just using that against her to shame her and all this other stuff. Like, you're supposed to be, like, you need a spiritual journey, honestly. Like, you need one, in my opinion. Your spirit isn't right, personally. Like, I feel like your spirit isn't right. You're so worried about my spiritual journey and airing it out to the group and all this other stuff. So yeah, like, I can't. Drew claims she had to pull out, yeah, the baby blessing, all this other stuff, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, so Candy makes the point about, like, y'all are giving Latoya way too much credit. Like, and if a man, like, he's a grown man, like, he's a grown man, like, what? Like, what? Like, Drew is not giving any type of accountability. If this is true, if this is a thing, whatever, regardless, Drew is not saying anything about Prophet Lot. Like, just putting it all on Latoya. So this is so crazy. So yeah, Candy makes that point, like, a man gonna do what he gonna do, which is kind of, I ain't gonna get into it. I have things to say about Candy. Like, I'm gonna just drop this here. I don't know, I feel weird about Candy now because she is close with Miss Tiny and the whole T.I. and Tiny thing, and her view, the T.I. and Tiny sexual assault and like physical violent, like, you know, all that stuff. Like, Candy being close to Tiny and just like all, just, you know, Atlanta, like all these things. Like, I just look at her so weird now. And also, I believe in a Watch What Happens Live or something, or some interview, she addressed it, and she was like she was on some victim blaming shit, and it's just like, ew. So yeah, I don't know, I look at her weird now, and a lot of the things that she say now, I'm kind of like, okay. But she did make a point. So yeah, so we're cutting, they're doing that little cut, the little cuts of like showing like the different housewives of what they're doing before they actually, like, you know, do a scene. They're kind of like doing that thing where they kind of jump around. Okay, so we go to Portia, and Portia is, you know, playing with PJ, blah blah blah. So she FaceTimes Dennis, and I don't know, it was like weird, because it was like diet culture, fat phobic stuff. It seemed like they was talking about 44 ounces, something like that. Like, I gotta stop when I get to 4 ounces or something, because Dennis was like, you gotta take that bottle away from her or something. And I don't like stuff like that. Like, if your baby is going to be fat or get fat, like, that's fine. Like, what? This is a baby. Like, PJ is a baby. What? I don't understand. So I don't know. Yeah, so we're at Kenya's house now. Everyone pulls, not everyone, but Candy, Marlo, Latoya, and Cynthia pull up to Kenya's house. So I don't know, they're talking about Mark. Like I said, I don't care about Mark or whatever, and they were talking about motorboating or something, like motorboating boobs, and Cynthia didn't know what it was. And so Kenya explains, but Latoya goes over to Cynthia and like motorboats her boobs. I personally didn't like that. I was very uncomfortable watching that, because it's like, I don't know, I don't like shit like that. Like, yes, we are all women or girls, so I get it's like some type of level of comfortability, but no, like, I didn't like that. Like, that shit is weird. I don't like that. Don't do that. So yeah, so they discussed the Prophet situation, and Candy called him the pastor and Cynthia called him the prophet. That shit was funny. Candy was like the pastor, Cynthia was like, or it was something. Yeah, it was something. What did it call the pastor? I don't know. That was funny. It was like, yeah, pastor or prophet, whatever. I don't know. That was funny. Yeah, Kenya said it's none of her business. She was getting banged out by Bolo or some shit. I'm like, damn, that is so vulgar to say. Like, wow. Like, that's so vulgar to say about... She was saying that about Drew. Like, Drew was getting banged out by Bolo or whatever. Like, she should have nothing to say about LaToya. I'm like, oh my God. Which is true, but I'm not gonna say that she was getting banged out by Bolo. Like, that's a lot to say. Like, banged out. No. She was doing the... What did she say it was called? I forget, but Drew had her little slogan or whatever for some freaky shit she was doing. I don't remember, but whatever. Like, Drew, it's crazy because Drew is actually married. Like, Drew is actually married. Like, LaToya is getting a divorce, in the process of divorce, you know, is basically broken up with her husband. Like, you can be broken up and still be married. Like, what? That's so weird. Like, I can't stand this hardcore, like, religious bullshit. It's very annoying. Very, very annoying. So yeah, so LaToya actually FaceTimes Prophet Live. Prophet Live kind of, I don't know, he was called some, I think it was King of Reeds or something, called him messy for that, like, which is funny because, like, I think it was him. I think it was King of Reeds or Justin, but I don't remember. But somebody called Prophet Live messy for being on that FaceTime call, and I think that is so funny. I don't know if he's met. I don't know. Kind of, sort of, but I don't know. I like it. Like, I'm glad that he came on and told them everything. This FaceTime call was kind of a lot. It was kind of funny. Like, everybody was all talking to him and stuff. They was asking him questions. But yeah, so he basically says, like, yeah, like, this was never a thing. And, like, Drew and Ralph hit me up about doing the baby blessing, but they never got back to me. So nothing was ever confirmed. Like, so I don't know what Drew was, like, talking about. And that he was engaged 3 years ago and no longer engaged, all this other stuff. So he clears the air basically. Yeah, and LaToya said something fatphobic about Drew, which I do not like. Like, that was gross. She said something like she needs to be worried about her relationship with a treadmill or something. I thought that was, like, fucking disgusting. Like, I don't like shit like that. Marlo, being annoying, pulls sanitizer out her Prada boot. Cause, you know, Marlo, she be having to flex her luxuries and her brands and designers and all that bullshit. She be having to flex. So we all know, like, the new Prada combat boots, the recent Prada combat boots or whatever, have pockets on them. And so she had to pull hand sanitizer out her boot. She needs attention so bad, and it's so sad. Bars. So yeah, they're FaceTiming him, asking him questions. Yeah, so I think it ends at Kenya's house, I believe, the episode. So we see the trailer for the next episode, and Drew is with Josiah with this old daddy stuff, still trying to, like, make him have a relationship, you know, with his biological father, and calling him old daddy. And I think it's so weird, and I just don't like it. And it's so uncomfortable to see these kids going through stuff like this on camera, and then their parents performing and, like, feeling like they got to do all this stuff because they are on camera. And it's just like, it's just gross, because it's like your kids have to go through this too, because you're having them be on camera and do all this, like, stuff. And it's just like, for the sake of your storyline. Ugh, don't like it. So Mark blocked Kenya. Okay. Oh my God. So Portia's look next episode. Let's talk about it. Oh my God. So she has on this all metallic silver look. She has on this bodycon silver dress. Okay, she is looking fire. Okay, she has on, like, I think matching, like, silver metallic, like, sandal heels, and then her hair is like this, like, cut. I want to say it's kind of like a mullet, but it's giving, like, you know, Rihanna, Good Girl Gone Bad, rated R type, more like rated R era. It's giving, like, rated R, like, it was so cool. Like, she looked good next episode. I was like, girl, Portia came. So Yeah, they look like they're playing some type of game in the trailer for the next episode. They're playing some type of game, and Drew walks up on Kenya with this wig in her hand, and it might be like referencing the situation in the earlier episodes where they were like coming for Drew's like wigs, which was like so gross and childish and petty. So yeah, and Kenya's like, "Don't walk up on me, Drew." I'm like, "Ooh." Oh shit. Okay, so what is going on? It's about to go down. So Latoya comes in. Latoya comes in and I guess Latoya came right on time. Maybe they was just talking shit about Latoya. I don't know. We will see when the episode airs. But Portia said she's gotten so close to the prophet. She prophesied when to walk in. That was hilarious. That was funny. Funny. So yeah, Drew and Latoya fight. I'm not gonna lie, Latoya looks like, I mean, not that it matters, but if we're gonna talk about it, Latoya doesn't look like that she can fight, because like Drew was kind of walking up on Latoya and the security was like kind of, and Latoya, all I saw was Latoya with like her foot out, like her leg out, like she was ready to kick. Like she didn't look like she was ready to fight. Like if somebody is walking up on you, you best be ready to fight. Like don't be sitting down. Like Drew is standing up ready to, like, she's about to like pop you, like, girl. So yeah, I want to revisit earlier episodes of this season, because honestly I wasn't really watching them. I was kind of just watching Justin King Reed's like reviews, and then if the reviews seem interesting enough, if the things talked about in the reviews seem interesting enough, then I would watch the episode. But I ended up just like watching the season, honestly. I didn't think I would watch this season, I'm gonna be real. I was talking like I didn't think I would watch this season for real, but I did anyway. So yeah, actually ended up being, I think this season was entertaining, and it was because of Drew. I'm not gonna lie, it was because of Drew, Latoya. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I could say Kenya, but Kenya's just doing the same old like dry like shit. Like I don't know, I feel like this season even could have come in. What's up?
About to eat.
Okay, I'm filming a video. Okay, so yeah, I want to revisit their relationship or whatever, their fight, because I have my feelings, but I still want to be kind of fair. I don't know if Drew and Latoya's beef started because Latoya was like allied with Kenya, and Kenya started coming for Drew, so Latoya started coming for Drew and they were coming for her wig. Or did this happen because of Drew and Latoya had that argument about marriage and separation, and Drew like, oh, you know, Drew feels, you know what Drew's feelings are. Drew is like, oh, if you're married, whatever, like, you shouldn't be doing stuff with other people if you're legally married, all this other BS. And Latoya's like, no, like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like, what are you talking about? So I don't know if that argument came first or if the wig thing came first, because I remember when Kenya and Latoya was talking shit about Drew's wig, but they were talking about her wig in, like, at Kenya's house. I don't remember exactly what the timeline is when, like, she did it to her face. I don't know, I'm gonna have to find out. But regardless, like, they're both like very annoying this season, but it's fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to watch them like go at it or whatever. Like I said, I don't try to do the but like, it is entertaining. Like, let's be real, like, it is entertaining, and I don't like to give, you know, I was really not feeling them in the beginning. Like, I really wasn't. Like, it's crazy, but like, I've grown to like appreciate what they're bringing, I guess, to the season in a way. I don't know. They've both been just like disrespectful, honestly, like, if you want to be real. But I do feel like Drew is like extra annoying with all this like Christianity shit. Like, I get annoyed with that shit, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I got. I did want to talk about like some notes that I had about the after show, because the after show got tea in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the after show got tea, okay? Like, but I might make that a separate video, because I have so many notes about that. Because I was watching that, because since I didn't watch, I don't know, I like just got to the after show, so I was watching them for like previous episodes, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I have a lot of notes. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna make a separate video for that. So peace out.